Blessed be your name, oh God. Blessed be your name, Jesus. Oh Zebrato Shanamaha. Yes, our hearts are yielded, pliable to be filled with your thoughts and your wisdom in the name of Jesus upon every heart in this place. And on Zikataya Dabaha, we are yielded, open unto you by your spirit this evening in the name of Jesus. On Zebrato Shatabakora Dibahaste. Yes, we receive the wisdom of the kingdom this evening. Our hearts are ready, our minds are open. We get ourselves out of the way and we open up for the training and the instructions of the Spirit this evening in the name of Jesus. Thank you, precious Father. We give you all the praise. We exalt you. We magnify your holy name. For in Jesus' name we've prayed. Amen.
Please sit down. I want you guys to concentrate in the front. Don't get sparsed that way. Welcome to our monthly leadership special. I didn't even know it was leadership special until there's this lady that told me. They can explain. We've been having a conversation in our office, and before we left, she just told me. But I'm ready always, so I have a thought in my mind, and we're going to look at it. 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. We studied one law called the law of sacrifice. Praise the Lord. So I will just read the introduction of that law. Then I want us to do something together with regards to our levels of leadership. I hope you all understand the 5 levels of leadership in this church. The law of sacrifice. A leader must give up to go up. Okay? And it says, why does an individual step forward to lead other people? For every person, the answer is different. A few do it to survive. Some do it to make money. Many desire to build a business organization. Others do it because they want to change the world. That was the reason for Martin Luther King. Well, we're not going to go into Martin Luther King's story. But let us, and when he talked about Martin Luther King, he talked about the fact that he gave up until he had to give up his own life at the end of the day. Okay, but it didn't start that way. So, the cost of leadership is giving up your rights for your responsibilities. Okay? A leader gives up his right for his responsibilities. So let's do this. So let's say this is the first level of leadership, second level of leadership, third level of leadership, fourth level of leadership, and the fifth level of leadership. Maybe we should have done it the other way so that we will be climbing to make sense, right? So this should be 5. And this should be 4. This is actually 3. This should be 2. And this should be 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Huh? So the first, so I want to the first level of leadership is, I wanted 3 lines, but I hope that I get it. So what is the first Leadership begins at the first level and it's called what? Bring the mic, please. Let me be running around people who have been listening to me. Give it to Juanita. Spare the girl, please. Oh, can you tell me? Do you know the first level of leadership? Is to lead you. That's the first level. Never forget it too, yeah? All right. So, the first level of leadership is called what? Personal. Personal. The second level of leadership is what? Whisperers organization. It's called what? The third level is called what? Goodness. Organizational. The fourth level is called what? Goodness. Trans. Goodness. The last level is called what? You're right. Transgenerational. Okay. Excuse the way I put them. So, this is the first level of leadership. Now, I want us to apply the law of sacrifice to the levels of leadership. And reading from this book, it said that leadership, the cost of leadership, there is a common misperception among people who are not leaders that leadership is all about the position, perks, power, and that comes from rising in any organization. Many people today want to climb up the corporate ladder because they believe that freedom, power, and wealth are the prizes waiting at the top. The life of the leader can look glamorous to people on the outside, but the reality is that leadership requires sacrifice. A leader must give up to go up. That's the functional principle we're applying here. A leader must give up to go up. Okay? So consider the 5 levels of leadership as the 5 levels that you would have to grow through. If you desire to become the best leader you can be, then you need to be willing to make sacrifices in order to lead well. If that is your desire, then here are some things you need to know about the law of sacrifice. There's no success without sacrifice. Leaders are often asked to give up more than others. So the cost of leadership is, first of all, identifying the difference between rights and responsibilities and giving up rights because of responsibilities. I hope you understand that. So let's find the difference between our rights and our responsibility. What's the difference between my right and my responsibility? So let's start with somebody who might not know that. What is a right? What is a right? You want to try? I want you to try. Give it to him, let him try. The mic. Give it to your brother. Tell me the difference between right and responsibility.
Good day, church.
Yeah.
A right can be defined as rights can be defined as embodied, like in a country or a state.
You say what?
In a country or a state, rights are given to citizens.
I don't ask what they are giving, what they are used for. I say what are rights. You started well with the definition.
Yeah, so, right. What everyone has,
Like we all have head.
right? It's like
Right is what everyone has. Let's try. Someone else, what is the right? And what is responsibility to you? Responsibility is...
responsibility is what we must go out of our way to do, and it must be done. Like our daily activities.
Thank you. Let's give it to Solo. Give it to this handsome man here. Yes. Right and responsibility. Or just read from Google, let's see. What is your right or a right? But you should be able to reason rather than go to all these definitions. Because somebody reasoned what is written there. I don't. And to learn to communicate, you must be able to move from concept in your head to words in your mouth. You must be able to say what you are thinking. A right is what? They may go there and say what is legally yours. That's bad definition. When you use the word legally. Yes. But legally is not right. So you can use legally, yes, because it's not using the word. It's when somebody says what is rightfully.
Okay.
Right is an entitlement. Okay.
I would say rights are legitimate entitlements.
Yeah, beautiful, well constructed, perfect. I don't think we can say a better word. Legitimate entitlement, except that it's a lot of grammar too for the average person. But you are very correct. So what is a responsibility?
Responsibilities are
What do they say responsibility there? Cleaning the house? Moral obligations. Moral obligations. Very beautiful words. Legitimate entitlement. Moral obligations are responsibilities. Are they not? Moral obligation. Can we explain when something is an obligation and it's moral? It means that your conscience compels you to do it, even if it is not something that is expected of you legitimately. Right?
yes.
Very good. So, rights are moral obligations responsibilities are moral obligations, and rights are legitimate entitlements. Okay? Thank you very much. Very beautiful. Okay, so you can either spend your life doing only the things that are legitimate, what? Entitlement or expectations. Do you understand? So, if somebody expects you to do certain things because by virtue of the law, it is your place to do it. So your rights can be your responsibility. But can your responsibilities always be your right? Not all responsibilities are yours per se. Not all responsibilities are, or I would say you are not morally obliged to take on all responsibilities. No, you're not legally obliged, even if though you could be morally obliged to do so. But here we're discussing leadership, and I'm saying, so if you want to climb the leadership ladder, if you want to grow from personal leadership to interpersonal, so let's say this is responsibilities that you have to take. And this is the rights. And this is leadership. So we're looking at leadership responsibility, right? What? By the law of sacrifice, it says a leader always gives up to go up, right? He gives up what? He gives up his rights and takes on responsibility in order to lead. So what's the responsibility that you have to take on to assume personal leadership? You said what?
Yourself. Responsibility is yourself. Personal leadership.
So you take responsibility for yourself. Yes. When you take responsibility for yourself. Can anybody explain what that means? So, what shows that somebody has taken full responsibility for themselves? When you take responsibility for yourself, it means that you hold yourself, yes, accountable to what?
To your commitments and also to yourself.
You said what? Yes, you hold yourself accountable to principles. That's true. So, but the responsibility you take when you take responsibility for yourself, did you give up any right? What right did you give up? I like you now. You just get everything. You used to come top of your class, right? Do you really have a right to be careless? Is that, how do you define it before? Legitimate entitlement? Do you have a legitimate entitlement to be careless? If you are taking on the moral obligation to be responsible for yourself, did you have a legitimate entitlement to be careless? Who rights are given? Who gave you the legitimate right to be careless? You had the right to choose. You took the responsibility to choose to lead yourself instead of the responsibility to remain what? To be dependent? To be dependent, okay. You seem to like the class. So, you took responsibility for yourself and you had the right to do that, okay? So let's just stay with responsibility. So when you take responsibility for yourself, what is the outcome? What happens? So, what are the basis or what do you measure yourself against when you become personally responsible? When you become personally responsible. Or let's be climbing, we'll get the answer. So at this second level, what responsibility do you take on? You take responsibility At the personal level of leadership, you take responsibility for yourself, right? At the interpersonal level of leadership, you take responsibility for what? For others. What should I write there? Others. Others. I don't want to cancel it too. For others. What does that look like when you take responsibility for others? What does that look like? Does it mean that when others misbehave, it's your fault? You hold others accountable to you. You look out for others. You look out for others. Like how? Watch them walk away. Okay. Third level, we get all. Third level, organizational leadership. What responsibility do you take? You are the one doing well in this class, Mr. Nzeguna. What? You take responsibility for a system. A system or the system? What does that look like, taking responsibility for a system? You watch out for the system. You look out for the system. Okay. Transpersonal leadership, what responsibility do you take? I should write it. Transpersonal leadership, you take responsibility for what? Okay. Transgenerational, you take responsibility for what? It sounds like that, really. Okay. So who will help? Transpersonal leadership, you take responsibility for what? You take responsibility for leaders. You take responsibility for leaders. You take responsibility for leaders. Leaders take responsibility. So you now take... You take responsibility for the vision at this place. So what do you do? What you take responsibility for the transgenerational? You are writing too much. What is the... I want you to answer. Give me mine. You are jotting down too much. Transpersonal, you take responsibility for what? Executive team. That's a story. Oh. I mean, how will I write it? Like, I'm thinking of...
Take responsibility for those who are managing the system. Yes. You are accountable for those managing the system.
It makes sense. Just that I'm looking for a word. You said? Take responsibility for a culture. Did you note it down before? Go back to it. There's something I want you to come to realize. Go back to it. Follow the one you wrote. Because I think you're putting the culture in the wrong place. Where do you have the culture? Is it at the transpersonal or transgenerational? That's where you have the culture? What did you see there? Okay, I think there was. I think I know the diagram you are using. It may even be here. No, it's in the other. I think I know that diagram you're using. Okay. No, but that's not it. Here you are leading yourself. Look, you are leading yourself here. You are leading others here. You are leading a system here. You are leading leaders here. Is that not? And you are leading culture here. So if you take responsibility for yourself and you take responsibility for the system, why should you not be leaders here? Give him mic, please. Give him mic.
That you build a culture where other people can easily fit into without being too micromanaged in that transpersonal leadership. So the culture is already existing. Whenever someone comes into that culture, they easily adapt into the culture of what you set as a system now, but a bigger version of a system. Let's say the next thing to a system.
No. It's at the transgenerational level that you are establishing a culture of leadership that is responsible, therefore, for producing leaders very naturally. Because if you look at it, at the personal level, what are you doing? You're modeling leadership. Is that no? At the interpersonal level, what are you doing? Yeah? But you're motivating others. Functionally, that's what you're doing. At the organizational level, you are managing systems. At transpersonal level, you are mentoring leaders. Then it's at this transgenerational level that you are mastering leadership, mastering the culture. The 5 roles a leader has is a leader is a model, is a motivator, is a manager, is a mentor, and he's a master. Does that make sense to you now? Right? But the focus of the first level, let me use another color so that the whole place will not become so muddled up. The focus of the personal level of leadership is yourself. The focus of interpersonal leadership is others. The focus of organizational leadership is the system. The focus of transpersonal leadership is leaders now, is it not? We will talk about how this is different from others. How are leaders different from others?
Leaders have responsibility, and others have more rights than responsibility.
I like that. I never thought of it that way. And it's so true. So true. Yes. Yes. Leaders have responsibility to lead. Let's say that. But others, they simply have rights. So the way you lead others is by motivating them. But the way you lead leaders is by mentoring them. That means to a leader, you explain what you are. For example, there are times where I will just be in a place, maybe decide the situation. Then when I'm going to ask the person, what do you think I was doing there? why did I say this to this person? That's mentoring. Because you are trying to transfer the leadership mindset to this person because they are likely going to find themselves in that situation. That's mentoring. But if you are motivating someone, what do you do in that instance? You say words that makes the person to act. That's motivating, okay? So, for example, somebody can be, yes, thank you. Give him the mic. No, he has two now. What do you want him to do with it? So, when, okay, let's say, come. Don't think anything. Come here. Okay, so let's say this is my leader. No, let's say in an organization we work. Okay, let's say this is the choir director. And this is a member of the choir who just came in not so long. Then this person did something. Let's say she's been consistent. She's been coming to choir before, choir rehearsals. And you have a law that if somebody comes late 2 times, they face a suspension. And this person has been consistent until recently. So they came late the first time, you note it according to the policy. The second time they came late, you sent her home. When you sent her home, she created the scene. Huh? And the issue gets to me. So I'm sitting with the two of you now. And I said, what happened? And she said, I've been coming to church. I came to this church. Nobody even asked me to join the choir. I came by myself because I saw that I wanted to be in the music group. And yes, we had this law, but the first time my mom called me from home. And I told my leader, which is me, and he did not allow the next time, blah, blah, blah. Whatever story she told. When she's through, you begin to hear me like somebody who's on her side. Do you understand? You begin to hear me like somebody who's on her side. And I say, well, I get your point. And then I ask you in our presence, do you think this lady really wants to be in the choir? I say, yes, I think she wants to be in the choir, but we have set down rules. And I said, I think she didn't know how to handle the situation. And so she acted in that way. So you don't know what this person will be in the choir in the next 1 month, 3 months. So I think you should just let it be. Is that okay? And you say yes, but you are not satisfied. Then when you leave here, who won? She feel empowered, right? Yes. What did I do to her? I motivated her. So she's gone. Maybe I call you again and say, were you pleased with my decision? And you say, well, I think, Pastor, you know what you are doing, Sha. But then I say to you that she doesn't have your understanding. That is by the book. When you do that, this person, even though she has excesses, but her heart is in the choir. But she doesn't know enough. You can leave here and say, but why did you not say this in her presence? Do you understand? Yes. But this one I call you now, what am I doing? Motivating you? No. I'm mentoring. I'm showing you that you'll be in the position where you can't use one stick for everybody because everybody's not on the same level. So, this person now, thank you, you can sit down. Because she is others. Is that not? Then how do you switch from motivating the person to mentoring the person? Okay, let's talk about managing first because that's the third level, okay? So, leaders are first. How are you a model When you take up responsibility to lead yourself, you assume the role of a model, right? And what does that mean? You take it upon yourself to be the example. So let me give you an example now. So you have a meeting with somebody for 4 p.m. and you know this person is a perpetual late comer and they are not going to come by 4, they're going to come by 5. Will you go there by 4:30? When will you go there? Okay, you'll be there before 4. So let's say you are there for, knowing you will wait for 1 hour. If he has done it 3-4 times and you have warned him and he did not do it, will you still now adjust your time? Let's go back to the same choir. Let's say you are the leader of the choir and your rehearsal time is, let's say, 4 o'clock. And they always, always come late. What should you do?
I would ensure I communicate to them to get us all on the same page about timing and agree on a penalty for being late
Yes.
a certain number of times.
But will you
Go there on time? Yes.
You will go there on time?
Yes, I will.
What are you doing by going there on time?
I would prepare and
What are you doing by going there on time?
set an example for them.
Why is it that the other people's default does not change your own action? By now, each of you should hold the mic. Give him a mic.
I think it's your understanding of how the system is designed to operate.
No, I want you to stick with what I'm explaining. I'm explaining first modeling, motivating, and I'm going for the managing, mentoring, and then mastering. But I'm saying when you, at this level, which is the personal level, the first level of leadership, you have taken responsibility for leading yourself. Is that not? When you take responsibility for leading yourself, you have chosen the role of modeling leadership. Is that not? Is that not? And I'm saying, when you are modeling leadership, you are embodying the principles, values, and skills of a leader. That's what you are embodying. You are truly being, not doing leadership. You are being a leader at the personal level. Do you understand? So, in being, if you are in a chaotic environment, it may be that you are not even the leader of the group. And they set a meeting for a particular time, and you know that this group is naturally disorganized. They will not come. Will you come at the time? Do you understand what I'm asking? What is inspiring you? That's what I'm asking. And that's what you should be responding to.
I think what should
be inspiring somebody at that level?
At that point, I think it's understanding. You already
Understanding
know,
what?
Okay, you already know what is expected at that point. What is expected at that point is you're supposed to be there on time, and of course, because you are
expected by who?
Okay, that's why I referred to the system when I use the word system at that point.
I'm saying in a chaotic system, where in Nigeria, for example, the entire country is corrupt, what keeps you to be upright?
Is what you know about what is right.
How does that apply to what I'm teaching?
Okay.
Let your examples come. Let it be relatable to what I'm explaining. If you are following what I'm explaining here, what drives your commitment to modeling leadership? Purpose. Yes, I'm coming. Say it in the mic. Say it in the mic.
What I'm still thinking is, I think is the understanding of what you are doing at that point in time. Because if you do
Okay,
not,
let's go to that. So, what is your understanding of what you are doing?
okay, from point one, you already know as a leader, you are actually in the process of becoming, because you are giving off your right and taking responsibility.
What is this responsibility now?
The responsibility are the values
Okay.
that you understand
Okay.
about that role as a leader that you have assumed.
Yeah, you're right. I'm just looking for some very specific words. Have you noticed that, for example, if you are in a culture, you know, culture is everything. When I say culture is everything, is that people build culture. If you want to dismantle a culture, it will come in 4 stages. That's results that are produced are based on actions that are taken. Those actions that are taken are based on the actions are based on people's belief system, and those belief systems are based on what? They're not based on value. They are based on experiences. People adopt belief system before they evaluate it. Are you following? Yes, so, for example, if you go to a company that has culture, that is why rewards and punishment is what drives culture. You can see somebody who is personally very indisciplined become disciplined in a culture that punishes indiscipline. Is that possible? Yes. You see a guy who goes to the club, is a night crawler, comes home very late, and before 7 is on his desk at Shell because of the consequence of not being there. Has he changed? What is he doing now? Complying, because his experience in the company is driving his behavior. Not his, so he is made to believe. If you write on the wall that, you know, you go to every place they write, we're a timely organization, our core values are integrity, uprightness, that thing is on the wall. If people don't experience that thing in dealing, they respond to what they are experiencing. Let's bring it home. In dealing with you, people treat you based on the things that are permitted. Is that not? Eh? When people experience you, they adapt to you based on the experience they have of you. Is that correct? So I'm saying, in that case, a leader who's growing in a culture and the culture's value system is not the same as the leader's value system. What keeps the leader accountable to his value system in spite of the culture? I have a game to play tomorrow. It's a monthly kitty. They wrote that tee off time is 9. I know they will never tee off by 9. From the experience of many of the ones I've attended. But I'm always there before 9. And it's not because of them. I am like that. I have trained myself to be so. And I was surprised the few times we had to travel out of this place to somewhere. People who wanted to join me I gave them time. They were there before the time, saying that pastor does not waste time. When I got to Benin, before I came back, before I finished my round, somebody just called me. I said, where are you? Say, we are standing by your car because we want to follow you. You know why? If I tell you that I'm going by this time and I get there and they are not there, I assume they have entered. Then we will travel in their absence. Do you understand? So I'm challenging their culture. They are adjusting their culture based on their experience. A book game with people who I got there, the person was not there. I found somebody else, I started playing. The person came in there and saw my car obviously, trying to call my number. Of course, I switch off my phone and it's inside my car, it will not ring. So later, this particular person was inside the field playing, inside the golf course, and saw me and said, you didn't call me. I didn't respond. We had an understanding. We chose a time. Some people expect you to call them still. Like, people do that. They'll reach there. You're not here. I don't see you. You did. Why? I'm trying to teach them to change. I'm trying to challenge their ways. I was going to play a game with one. They arranged for us to get there by 6, to move by 6:30. 6:30, I was at her place because this time I was going to. It has happened once before. I was there. She came late. This time I said, I'll pick you up. So I've gone to their place. 6:30, I'm parked in front of I was there before 6:30, but because it's not yet 6:30, I waited until 6:30 to pick her at 6:30 so that by 7 we can take her. Okay, once it was 6:30, I have been there for a few minutes, let's say 10, 15. I called, and she picked the call. I said, so this one is brazen up today that it will not be like the last time. She said, I'm coming out of my house now. I'm coming out of my house. And I said, yes. You just smiled and saw me in front of the car. Say you are here. I said, I've been here for the past 15 minutes, but it was not time. Say, She usually uses this word, wonderful. She said it again, wonderful. So she campaigns to other people that, if it's this guy, cultural challenge. That is, this is the way they act. But I have trained myself to be this person, modeling, that my commitment is not to them, my commitment is to my leadership. Do you understand what I mean? There are pastors who come to church from the back door and mostly after they have started. Do you know? Because of culturing. Do you understand? Like people who they will call, say they all is half full. That means it's not habitual. They are responding to the culture rather than dictating the culture. That, I said, is a commitment that comes from when you gave up your right and took the responsibility to lead yourself. You focus on modeling what the values, principles, and the skills of leadership are. Is it not? So that's what you do at this stage. What do you do at this stage? You take the responsibility of what? Motivating. When to motivate, you know for sure that you have to adapt to where they are. Because if you adapt to where somebody is, you meet them on an emotional level. They feel seen, heard, understood. For that reason, they are willing to go along. But there's a tact here. Let's talk about number 3. The responsibility is to the system, managing system. How do you manage a system? How do you manage a system, motivate others, and lead yourself? Let's do these 3. So I'll give you another example. 2 guys now. Yes. I think examples make you remember it. Come. So, these are people in the church. Let's say this man is a life group leader. And this man is a member of his life group. Or is it the other way? Okay, let me not provoke him. This man is a life group leader, and this is a member. So this member meets me and says that I want to leave that life group. Saying that a life group leader is not doing well. He's always postponing our life group meetings. I will go there, I will not see anybody. This conversation he's having with me, is it by the system? I'm asking. This conversation that he's having with me, is it by the system? Do you understand what I mean by the system? Are you reporting him by this kind of conversation?
Yes.
So you think you are reporting him, right?
Yes.
Systematically, I don't deal with you directly. Do you understand? Managing systems. Huh? This thing you said is supposed to go through a system, if you want to say it. What is the first place it will go to if you wanted to systematically say it? If you speak to me, assume I was the life group coordinator, you know the first question I will ask you? What do you think is the first question I will ask you? Who is the problem? No. I mean, the problem you are talking about is the one I'm asking you if you have spoken to him. Right? Okay. That is what? Systematic. So, if truly you have spoken to him, you have said, how should you have spoken to him? Like, sir, this is our life group. We want people to participate. You know you are supposed to speak suggestively. If we want people to participate, it's important that we show up on time. You know, some of the times you have set up meetings like this and you didn't show up. Me, I can show up. There are some other people that this may demotivate. And then we want church to grow. This is speaking to him. If after that he said he heard and is doing that, you now have a valid position to escalate systematically. Huh? So when you escalate, you talk to what did you call the other person now? Life group coordinator. What do I expect the life group coordinator to do? Yes, the life group coordinator will call on the issue, right? Yes. Okay, 2 ways he can call on the issues. Let's say the life group coordinator calls a meeting and you are sitting down and this man is sitting down. I would think that is not the first port of call. Why? This is on mic. Others can learn from it.
Because we're in different, we're not in the same, should I say, audience or Should
Because-
be in the same meeting while you're talking to him. And
That way you spoke to him first. The life group coordinator should explore that line,
yes.
which is to sit with him and say, what should he say? Rumor has it that. Is that what he should say? He would say, he will call your name. He will say, this person came to me and he said he had talked to you about it before. That these meetings, maybe they are staying too long or you're not showing up and blah, 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 blah. Then watch what he would do with it. So let's say he calls the next live group meeting and say, some people in this live group are overstepping. How come you know it? It's not, knowing you have called his attention before is not wise. So I'm saying, let's assume now that you told me that. Huh? What do you think should have been my role here now? What should I do? Because we don't have that systematically. What should I do? I can still contribute. What will I do? I will position as your friend to give you my highs about it, even though I am the pastor of the church. But when I meet you as groups, I have not heard that issue systematically. Do you understand what I mean? I have not heard it systematically. When I hear it systematically, if I stand, I will not encourage it. They have done my work at the different level before there is decision. Do you understand what I mean? So you see now, I can be a model and motivate and manage. So when I stood by you and talked informally, I was motivating. When I took my place and made a decision, I'm managing by the system. That is why if I want to make a decision most times, I will ask this person, what do you recommend? This is a very interesting place to be. What do you recommend? Because I'm not the one dealing with the everyday thing. For example, I can say, who do you think can feel that? Maybe this person now, I've heard that. Maybe that third person has gone to talk to you. Let me ask you a question. Do you have the privilege to seek my opinion as a person in spite of my position in the church structure? You do. Do you understand what I mean? Eh? There are things my wife will say to me. I will say, are you reporting it? Or you say, no, it's not reporting. Don't come to me and say, for example, if there's somebody that is, no, just tell me the story. I can handle it. If there's somebody that is not always hearing in a live group and you have changed the person 3 times and the person is, what will you do? No. Tell me. James was not here in my, because I will not ask James, like, how do you know it does? Have you done A? Have you done B? Right? Now, you will be wise to know when, if I motivate, if I give you an idea from out of my office and you undermine it, for example, then you come to the official procedure and we meet again. How do you think I will handle it? You can sit down. But how do you think I will handle it? Do you know when a leader's suggestion is an instruction? Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you get what I mean?
When a leader's suggestion is an instruction,
Yes.
I think at that point in time, the leader have seen that.
Because speaking from your office is speaking with the powers of your office. And there's a time where you are not speaking from your office, you are speaking as a person. Do you understand? When you speak as a person, you speak suggestively, right? Yes. You speak persuasively. But it does not diminish the powers of your office. Do you get what I mean? And so go on with your analysis knowing that.
So you could, at that point, make it obvious that I know I have been presenting a suggestive mood, but this time around, this is how it should be.
When the thing has not reached your office, you are abusing your own office. Do you understand? If the person who should bring a subject to you in your office is not the one bringing it to you and you are making an official decision from somewhere else, you are encouraging this kind of misbehavior in the system. You don't understand? Then you are not managing the system, because always you think in the system. Do you understand? So if you think in the system, you will know whether maybe the person who's talking to you does not even know, or sometimes they are just caught up in the heat of the moment and they're talking to you. Somebody can just say, look, I'm the good pastor for this matter. Or somebody can assume that I am aware because I am aware informally. And carry that authority to the place and become rude until the issue now comes out. Or I can see the leader and say, I think you should discipline that person. I think you should discipline this person. If the person comes to tell me that thing, and that person I encourage, I can say, I think you should discipline this person. If I were in your shoes, I'll send them away because they are creating dissensions in the rank. If that is my view of it. There was one time in this church, there's a lady, she's not here anymore. She had something and then she came to me. And she didn't come to me to report. She came to me and said, Pastor, I'd like to see, I want your opinion on something. And then she told me the thing. When she told me the thing, her opinion, I told her what I thought, I will now put myself in your shoes and say, if I were you in this position, this is what I will do. You have made this mistake. If I were you, I'll go back and apologize for this. So I am not aware. That's what it means. But when the person involved came to me, I said, if I were you, I would deal with this person. Am I setting them up to fight? You say yes. You have not answered that assignment I give to you. It's the system. Let me give you an example. If you make somebody the manager of your office and you talk to people under, you are disregarding the authority of that manager. Is that not? So if people come to you trying to disregard the manager's authority and you send them back by advice to go through the manager, you are empowering the system. Do you understand what I mean? Huh? So when somebody comes to me and says something, and what you don't know is that they are trying to get your subtle, informal authority to be rebellious, I can see that. Do you understand what I mean? And like, this person, let's say, for example, you have done something in a group, it's not right. The leader of the group has put their foot on the ground and have said, this is the consequence, you are suspended. And you feel like you're not going through the suspension, that you want to go and see pastor. But you call pastor not to tell the story, but say, I'm asking your opinion on this thing. But which is to inform me. Do you understand? I will see that rather than face the discipline, you are still manipulating powers. Then I say, you wouldn't have done this. If I were you, I would go and apologize. Then if I meet this person, I will not go to you. If you come to me and say, this is what we are dealing with, blah, 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 I say, if I were in your shoes, I would have sent this person away. Can you see the conflict? Do you see it now? Do you get it? Because I'm not lending myself to be played around out of the structure of the system. So, for example, do you know you can forgive somebody and there will still be consequences? You know that? Where is the consequence coming from?
It could be as a result of the action, because to every action there must be a reaction. So it could be as a result of the...
Where then is mercy?
For example, this is what I mean.
Yes, say it.
If someone actually is supposed to, let's say, to make food for everyone to eat in the house, and you didn't do that, the consequence of not having food is hunger. Even if I've forgiven you,
that is
for
a
not
natural consequence.
Yes.
I'm talking about an applied consequence. Somebody who didn't make food will be hungry. That's a natural consequence. Do you understand? Let's say you have a policy for an organization. When I was in my home church, there's a language they used to say. They would say, God forgives, but administration does not forgive. They say administration does not forgive. I don't believe that administration does not forgive, but I understand what the point is. What is the point? No, because some of us, for example, how many of you like the word politics? Nobody, you don't like politics, right? Do you like politics? That is where human beings are and games are played. Do you like it? Do you like it? Do you play it? Do you engage in politics? Do you? Who does not engage in politics, please? Let me see your hand. No. You can only speak for yourself. You didn't have everybody here. Who does not engage in politics? You mean everybody here engages in politics? You don't engage in politics. You don't engage in politics. So what's your understanding of politics? What do you think we're talking about? It's a dirty game. Okay. So my definition of politics is this. Politics is social negotiation for power. Do you want more power or less power in social negotiation? Do you want to be respected in a group? Do you want to be respected in a group?
Of course, that everybody needs respect, though.
So will you do things that will enhance your respect in a group?
Positively, yes.
You behave yourself in ways that will attract more respect?
Will attract more respect.
Are you not socially
fun.
negotiating for power in that line?
No, not really.
Not really. You make effort not to be disrespected. That's what I'm saying. Do you?
Sure.
Okay. So politics has a very bad name because of what people do in government. But politics is just life. Do you understand? Even with your wife. Are you not political? Are you not? With everybody. Who here tells everybody everything they think? Is there any person like that? I'm even more cautious with people who say they don't play the game. Because that in itself is a game. Because it makes you who think they don't play the game defenseless, so they can eat you up as lunch. If everybody is political, but it is not proper to accept it, so people frown at it. Everybody politics. Say, no, for church. But you know that it's not all calls you pick. When you are alone, there are some calls you look at and say, is that true? You are laughing. You are laughing. And when you see the person have been calling you, you say, oh, sorry. But that's not the way you behave privately.
No, I pick up calls.
Why did you then laugh? Why did you then
The
laugh?
reason why I laugh is if I pick your call, if I don't want to talk to you, I'll just tell you, please, I'm not in the mood to talk. I'll call you later. Definitely, I'm not calling you later. I'll just tell you I'm calling you later.
I love you. What's your name?
Zeno, sir.
I'll miss you, Zeno. So, we humans are like this. Do you understand what I mean? Your children have a way of getting things from you. Is that not? Have you noticed that your children sometimes when they see you are engaged with a visitor, they'll come and take your phone? They know that that moment, they read an opportune moment where they can get what they want. We are all like that. For somebody to tell me there are other ways to tell me that they're not human, I suspect them more. I think it's only beauty that is not like that. So you can't lead if you don't understand human nature and get along with it. So I said something before I got to this by saying that if somebody knows your software, your operating system, they will know what goes and what does not go. Do you understand what I mean? And so if they know that, you are predictable to a large extent. So a king, who in this world, I'm using the word king as a leader. A leader is a political figure. Is he not? Okay, so if he's a political figure, it means that his judgment from his office is different from his judgment as a person. Does that make sense to you? Huh? So he can forgive you as a person. And his office will not forgive you. If he wants to forgive you from his office, he must make it a policy. Do you understand what I mean? If he wants to forgive you from his office, he must make forgiveness a formal policy, like amnesty. They let all these people go. We had a law, but the office of the president had the right to issue amnesty. Recently, some politicians have been given presidential pardon, right? Meaning you can't count their offense against them anymore because they have received presidential pardon. That is managing through the system. So, a good leader can teach you how to navigate through the system. Do you understand what I mean? He can tell you, we are going to call this case. When you come to this case, they're going to read it against you. Own up and ask for pardon. Then and only then can I extend the presidential pardon to you. He is helping you that way. You're trying to disgrace me. Free me out. System. Do you understand what I mean? It's showing you how to both keep the system and protect you. But you may think, let me be president. Just. No. What is the purpose of a system? To produce predictable outcomes. That means a system produces the same thing at all times. Is that not? So if we don't set a primary mode as a policy, we can't repeat this action. Is it that deep? That's not deep. That is not deep. That's why many people don't understand the sentiment of a king. What does that mean? The king can make a decision from his office that he will go into his bedroom and cry about. Do you understand? He can cry and say, I wanted to save that boy, but my hands were tied. Because when they asked him, are you guilty or not? He said, I'm not guilty. If he had said he was guilty, as taught by me, I would have extended my pardon. But it's there in my office. And if I said he should go, will I say that for the next 10,000 people? He's thinking of the kingdom, not you as a person. Meaning, this thing is permitting. Is it repeatable? Do you get it? So, a leader is a political figure. That's why I say when you're motivating somebody, you are dealing with them personally. You are helping them through the process. You are dealing with the fact that their minds are not as sophisticated, their commitment is not there, and so until. How do you change from managing somebody to how do you change from motivating somebody to mentoring them? How? Training. Is that not? You train. Because when you train, you can hold people accountable to the information. Is that not? So that person you are motivating, you can say, you see the way I handled that issue. Do you know why I handled that issue that time? Like that? So you say, well, I say because he was wrong. I say, not exactly. Because you didn't understand. Then you put them in the shoes. Imagine you are this person. I was talking to a young lady recently. I said, tell me how you can be disciplined. You know, people are in situation and they want to dictate their discipline. Do you understand? I said, if somebody is misbehaving, if you're rude to an authority, and the authority chooses to discipline you a certain way, you don't like the discipline, and you say, where is love? I said, okay, forget about that. Tell me how somebody like you should be disciplined. Because you almost want to be wrong and accept and still retain all the perks. So I said, so if you are the leader and this is your subordinate and they did this, how will you discipline them? Then suddenly, because of your positional shift, your frame of thought has changed. And I said, I will deny them access. Oh, you said that, so that should be extended to you, right? So when it's extended to you, why does it seem like something unthinkable? You are denied access now. And I said, I even think your discipline, the person who's disciplining you is lenient. Because if I were in his shoes, I didn't think I would drag this that long. Are you following? So, many people don't think this sophisticated. That's why they muddle things up, get angry, bash out. Is that not? Somebody can come to my presence. Okay, there was one issue I was dealing with. Two people, they came to my office, I talked to them. And one reacted a particular way. There's a consequence, do you know? I mean, if I remind you, it may not cross your head when it happened. Do you understand what I mean? Do you understand what I mean? Eh? Let's say, husband and wife, you come to my house, the office, you have issue, I've invited you. I'm talking, you got angry. I now pet you, say, okay, it's okay, don't worry. Then you go. You would really think I understand. Is that not? Eh? There's a consequence. Where your glasses were, where it were. Put it. Because I'm not sure it's this class you are hearing. You are hearing plenty other things, and I'm not the one saying those other things, please. There's a consequence. What's the consequence? I'll tell you what the consequence is. You disrespected my presence. And if you disrespected my presence, you don't qualify for this proximity. And because you don't qualify for this proximity, I readjust the position and you may not like it. Do you understand? Do you understand? There is protocol for the palace. So if you don't like it, you may get angry. I'm saying, no, it's for your good that you are far from me. Because I understand that this is not done deliberately. It is your incapability displayed. And it keeps you at arm's length. Do you understand what I mean? Do I like that? No. Am I happy about that? No. I have a training that's how things work. People who don't line up with the way things are suffer a lot before they change. I don't like to suffer a lot. Okay. I can watch you judge yourself. Let me tell you an example. Like Jesus, the Bible told the story. Was it Jesus who told the story about somebody who was owing debt? He said a certain man was owing X amount of money, and he was forgiven his debt by the master. As he was going, he saw somebody else who was owing him, and he held that person. This you're holding is your judgment. This you're holding is your judgment. Because by principle, you are not merciful as you have been shown mercy. So he said, okay, if that's the way you will hold that person, you have just written your own sentence. That is why the Bible says, do not let mercy depart from you. I'm afraid when I'm in the place of judgment. When you're in a place of judgment, you are the one to dispense justice. It's a scary position. You know why it's a scary position? Judge as though it's you. Because it could be you. It could be you. Judge as though you are the one, because it could really be you. You see that leadership is sacred? It's a very frightening position. Why is it so? The lives of too many people are tied to it. It's not about you. Do you know that? Sacrifice. The 3 stages of development, which is dependence, independence, and interdependence. At dependence, you live on others. Is that not? At independence, you live for yourself. At interdependence, you live for others. Do you get it? So when you go up now, what is the responsibility for the highest level? You are responsible for the culture. Is that not? Do you know the level of responsibility? To be responsible for the culture? So, for example, at this level, a leader that I'm leading, your failure is my failure. Do you know that? If you fail, I failed. It means I couldn't get it to you. Do you know that's what it means? Let's say, for example, now they call me that you stole. If you don't like that, let me paint another one. This other one is worse than this. Better take this one now. Oh, time is up. Bring your offering, please. Yes, question asked. You can bring out your offering. Bring out your offering, please.
Okay, so you made a statement that you must know when a leader's suggestion is an instruction.
Yes.
Then you also said that the leader, who the leader is in the office, and as a person,
They are different.
they are different.
They may think alike.
Yeah,
They
okay.
may think alike,
But
but they are different.
they are different.
Yes.
Now, as a person, is it as a person, when the leader is dealing as a person, that his suggestions can be instruction, or when he's dealing from the office?
In any way, he's lending you his mind. He cannot recommend something that he does not believe in. That would be playing games with your life. Do you understand what I mean? So if the leader, like this guy now, he stood by you and he's saying, if I were you, I would do that. It should mean that. It's not a game. Do you understand? So when you do that, when you do otherwise, now, let me even use myself as an example. I don't expect the same outcome from myself as for the people I lead. Do you understand? There are certain things I can accommodate with the people I lead that I don't accommodate with myself, because the consequences on them is not as grave as the consequences on me. That is exclusive to my position. So, for example, if I wanted to use an illustration with my children, but I found out that they are there, so I don't want them to hear me. Okay, let me even use the illustration because I really think it. So let me use it. So I think yesterday I called the 3 of them to my room and I was talking to you guys. Can you remember? And one of the things I said, it's about a man, right? What did I say? Give her a mic. Give them give Shanti. Shanti is pointing out that lady. Let me hear. Yeah. What did I say? What did you hear? You heard a kind of subtle warning, right? Huh? Did you hear it? Use your mic. Yes. What did I say about a man? A man.
When you were talking about bringing a man home.
Yes, for marriage, right? Yes. What did I say?
You said a man is, what you expect is decency.
Yes. Well, how did it sound to you? Did I not say it like a warning?
Yes.
How did it say how I said it?
You said when you bring someone home, or when you bring a man, what I expect from the man is decency.
You didn't quite say it. Okay, but what I'm saying is this. This is my expectation. They could bring otherwise. They don't know I will accept. Do you understand what I mean? Do you understand what I mean by that? Do you understand what I mean? So, against the background of saying, you see my stern warning, bring any fool around me. I sounded like that yesterday. Now, one falls in love with one fool. I will spell out the consequences and still father you. Now, that is not what I will tell them. Do you get what I'm saying? But in my office, I have that responsibility. And when I will accept it, it is knowing that the consequence is on you. Do you see that? I call that love. So there are people who run to me, I think the first day or something. Somebody just called me. I say, where are you? I'll drive to meet you. Say, okay, I can meet you in church. Came here, talk, cried. After everything, like boxer, pour you water and everything. You get back to the fight. You're going back to that man. We talked before. Do you understand? So I am playing a managing role in a place where you should have been following me easily. Look at how I'm living my life. I don't tolerate myself in decisions because I don't want to deal with all these things. Or maybe you have a situation that's already bad. You're going to make it complex. I will volunteer I will talk. Then I will accept, but I will not come and tell you that. If you do this, like that's what I said. You see that? So what I'm saying as a person, they are hearing what I'm saying as a person, I mean it from my office. Now, when I come to my office, how is my office more stern than you? I said, there are many things I can do from my office, but they are going to do it by policy, not as a person. Do you understand? For example, if you make your issue our issue, I will take responsibility for the issue. If you don't make your issue our issue, I will not take responsibility for the issue. Somebody calls me and says, sir, something just happened. What is it? Lucas, I'm talking to you. Yeah, I'm pregnant. This is. You have brought it to our issue. Then I will now be looking how we work this around the existing system. So I'm the one who can call and say, marriage committee, look at the situation. This is, but do this. I'm the one doing it from my prerogative in this position. Do you understand? But if you don't make it our issue, you want to make a very difficult decision and you disdain my contribution and position. It's your issue. Do you understand? So in my position, I can accommodate many. The office, look, the church is for people. The church is not for perfect people. There was something, I think you were the one I even said this to. Was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? I said, I'm growing. As I'm here now, there are certain things that if they happen to me, I will not stop ministry because of them. That's why I say when you are judging, you must put yourself in that shoes. So, someone cannot stop ministry because of that for me. Like, somebody may feel like this woman has married 3 husbands before she came to this church. She has children for 2 men, but I see pastoring upon her. Me, I will put my hand on her head. and ordain her as a pastor, knowing the perception. Do you understand what I mean? I don't owe anybody that explanation, because what if that was me and I realized I had a call somewhere and I had 2 children from 3 marriages? Will I still? You will have to be the one to give up on your ministry. I'm not the one. Because if I were in that shoes, I will not seek your permission to move on in that regard. So I don't have the reputation that is either approved or disapproved by the onlookers. No, I don't have it. You know, as we live this life, there are certain challenges you only meet at certain stages. Do you know that? When you have not reached that stage, to you, those challenges don't exist in this life. When you have reached that stage, if somebody told you that you can marry somebody you are 8 years older than, you will swear until you are in the late stage and the guy who's liking you is 8 years younger. You will meet Lord. Lord. No, there are certain challenges only with certain stages. And when they come, the things you will consider may be things you have sworn against before. The person who said that was naive, young. Let him go. And deal with what you have here with the current wisdom that you have. You see that? So in such stages, I say, with my judgment, I'm always assuming I'm the one. There are certain things that are not your fault. You just happen, bam. You just took ill. You don't know. Or one day, one of my children just comes and say, Daddy, I'm pregnant. I will not address it as a preacher. I'll address it as a father. I will not shout has passed. The stage has passed. Shout. You have to wisely navigate this person through this. But until then, you are staying like that is a forbidden incident in reality. Do you understand what I mean? That's why I shouldn't even say it in their presence, because it looks like a license. But no, you see it to the end and come back. When you see it to the end and come back, you have accepted the things that are on the road. That's why you're living life. But if you don't see it to the end, you come and say, they're making young man judgment. They are snappy judgment. They are more about bolstering. That's an assignment. Bolstering, what does it mean? B-U-L-S-T-E-R. That's where we close. Bolstering. What does it say? About what? Read it. B-U-L-S-T-E-R. Bolstering. You don't have it. What you have is B-O-L. I will read it. Enforce. Okay, check blustering. No, it's bolstering. B-L-U-S-T. Blustering. Bolstering. When you're young, Agia, what did you see there? It's blustering, eh? I thought it's both. It's about, read further, they want to say some things.
To act or speak in an unduly threatening manner.
That's what I mean. You know, do you understand what I mean? Young men are known for strength. We bluster. I see you until reality kicks in. You will not sleep that night. That's your maturity night. That night you will not sleep. You toss this side to the bed, you toss this side to the bed. You say, but we have this issue to deal with. You will now sit up and say, who is going to stand for this person? And the person is the one offending you. She's the child that has disappointed you. She's everybody. But you are a father. You are not a young man. You will now take a position that announces all things as one. Because if you stand and this person further goes, worse things will happen. According as his divine power, all things that were things to life and godliness, through the knowledge of him who has called us to the church. This is the first time we have stayed this long in the midweek service.